So as part of my experimenting with growing in pots, I decided to try with some of my older pots last year to cut the bottoms off like this. Some of them were pots with like the tree pots with handles. Some of these are just like 25 litre plant pots that I've had from jobs in the past. I cut the bottoms off and used them to grow potatoes, so the potatoes are direct in the ground, and I'll just put the pot on top to give that extra height for main crop potatoes to come up and have the potatoes in the pot, give them that extra height. So I grow potatoes in pots as well, just normal freestanding pots, and that's good, but I do struggle down here with water. I've got about 14 to 15,000 litres total, but with the chickens and the geese and a very big vegetable garden, in a heat wave that doesn't last more than a few weeks really. So this was really an experiment just to see if I could grow potatoes in pots, but just to have them a little bit more sort of self-sufficient in water, so that obviously the freestanding pots have to be watered every day. In the summer, basically every single day. I did miss the odd day and they drooped a little bit. They've still done fine. I was actually quite surprised they've done better this year than they did last year. That was saving my own seed potatoes, and these are all my own seed too, but these I probably watered once a week and just basically mostly between the pots just to get it down into the ground where the seed potato was. So what I did do a little video on it, but I just basically planted the potato down in the ground, then filled the pot up and left them to it. So they all came really well. These 9 pots here are Desiree, these 6 are Sarpo Mirror. So I have had 2 pots out and they look like they've done really well, but I'm just going to pull a few pots out now and just kind of show you how they've done really. So I do have an excess of compost obviously when they come out, but that's fine. So you can kind of pull the pot off and then knock that out. You've also got the potatoes down in the ground there. So this is just one pot, and like I say, this is all my own seed potatoes from saved seed. So that's basically all the ones that were up in the pot by the look of it. And then all this compost I just put in the wheelbarrow, and that goes back on the compost heap as a brown. So that's the ones that sort of came up into the pot, and then there's a few down low, and these tend to be the bigger ones in general, which is what I did also this year, was remove a lot of the growing shoots of the seed potatoes, because I'd researched and found that a lot of people said you get bigger, maybe less, but bigger potatoes by doing that, by giving it one main growing shoot. And it seems to have worked. Whether it was that or just saving my own seed potatoes this year, I don't know, but all my potatoes this year are bigger than they've been in previous years. Not all of them, you know, there's some small ones obviously, but I'm getting a higher percentage of bigger ones. I mean, they're beautiful for jacket spuds, and some of these as well. So that's one pot, one of my own seed potatoes. I save seed about that sort of size, about a large hen egg size. So, you know, that's perfect. I haven't looked at any of the Sarpo Mirror yet. I only did 6 pots, so we'll knock one of these out now. And what I did with these, with the Sarpo Mirror, because I thought these pots being narrow end down may be more prone to toppling, so these I put wide end down, just to see what difference there was. A few small ones here around the bottom edge. I don't mind a few small ones because they can be misseed for the next year. Get into the bigger ones now. Hello, Milo. So not so many up in the pot with that. We're getting down now into the base, and again this is where the slightly medium to bigger ones tend to be. Look at that beauty. Crikey, that's a share jacket potato, that is, for two people. That's pretty good. Like I say, I'm always after the bigger potatoes. I love my jacket potatoes, kind of survive on them a lot, especially now I've got the off-grid cabin. Whenever I'm down here, I just cook a jacket potato in my my stove pipe oven that I've got. So I'm always after the big potatoes. And I also, just being honest, when I'm peeling potatoes for mash, I don't want to have to be peeling 30 potatoes that size. I'd rather peel, you know, 4 or 5 potatoes that size. It's just easier. So I do want to go for the slightly larger potatoes if I can. I'll just knock out one of these silicone mirror just to see. Get a few small ones around the edge, and they sort of go medium. It's funny that this could be because I was watering mainly between the pots. I am wondering whether that's why the ones right in the base are bigger, because the compost up top dried out. But you know, just when I was doing it, I thought, well, the roots are in the ground, that's where it's getting its moisture from, so I didn't think it'd make any difference. I don't know, not 100% sure if that's why, but the bigger potatoes are definitely lower down the stem. I assume, you know, they're obviously the first to start to grow, so maybe it's just that. Not so many at all, in fact, really bad, that one. Yeah, okay, that one was really not very good at all. That was all I had in that pot. So that wasn't a very good one at all. But you know, you get this, and like I say, I would never try and pretend everything always works, but so far all the others have been fine. Let's try another one. Bit better, hopefully. It's actually, they are very dry in the bottom, even after all this rain we've been having. So maybe I wasn't watering them quite enough, but another big one. These Sarpo mirrors always make me laugh. Sometimes you get some really big but really knobbly ones. Okay, so I think that looks about the lot. So not too great. First pot was a better one. Maybe that's just the Sarpo mirrors this year. But the Desiree that I saved for my own seed seemed to have done really well in the pots, and in these pots. Maybe this is just the Sarpo mirror, just producing a few big ones this year. Not quite so many as I was hoping, but anyway, it definitely has worked. Maybe I need to water them a little bit more. Quite surprised how dry some of that is in the bottom, but it definitely saved on water. So I will try this again next year, and I'll do a few more. I'll do a full bed full this time next year, and just sort of play around with it. I'll water it a bit more and see what happens next year. But anyway, bottomless pots, it does work. Definitely takes less water. The Desiree, similar sort of yield, perhaps slightly bigger potatoes than the pots on average. But again, not a lot in it. It's just really, for me, it's saving the water, is why I wanted to trial this, and that did definitely work. Just judging by the foliage, the 30 pots I had over here, if they weren't watered by the end of the day, then the next morning they'd be wilting. So I had to remember to water them every single day by by hand, and I didn't have an automatic system this year because I've moved my solar power over into the off-grid cabin, so I was doing it all just by hand. It doesn't take too long to water 30 pots, but it, you know, if you're tied up at work and that, it was a bit of a tie. But yeah, so these bottomless pots will survive longer without water for sure. That is a definite benefit. Yeah, potato size still pretty good, so I'm happy anyway. But that's it for today, little update. Take it easy guys, we'll see you next time.